Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a really fascinating idea. What if India's biggest comedian is on the verge of becoming its next great media mogul? So we're talking about Kapil Sharma, one of India's biggest stars, who's at this incredible crossroads. The whole entertainment world is flipping upside down, moving from old school TV to streaming. And right in the middle of all that chaos, there's this historic chance for him to go from just being a famous performer to, well, an empire builder.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with where Kapil is right now. Then we'll look at the ultimate playbook, the Oprah blueprint. From there, we'll map out what Kapil's own path could look like, check out the global potential, face the tough challenges, and wrap up with the big question. What does this all mean for the future of entertainment? Let's get into it.
All right, first things first, let's just set the stage here. For more than 10 years, the Kapil Sharma Show, it hasn't just been some TV show. It's become like a national ritual in India. It's one of those rare things that brings entire families together, a real pop culture event.
But now, with this huge shift to streaming, it's like the ground is shaking under the entire industry. And that puts Kapil at this defining moment. Does he just keep being the face of comedy? Or does he become the architect of a whole new entertainment empire? That's the big question.
So, to really grasp just how massive this opportunity could be, we've got to look at the gold standard, the absolute blueprint for turning a TV show into a global empire. And that, of course, is Oprah Winfrey.
I mean, look at this number. Oprah's net worth is sitting at over $3 billion. But here's the crucial part. That fortune wasn't just built on being a famous host. No, it all goes back to one single game-changing business decision. She decided to own her own stuff.
So way back in 1986, she founded Harpo Productions. And this was the masterstroke. By starting her own company, she grabbed full creative and financial control. She went from being an employee to being the boss. And believe me, that changed everything. And this wasn't an overnight thing. Her strategy grew over decades. It started with a talk show, right? But then it expanded into movies with Harpo Films. But the really huge leap, that came in 2011 when she launched her own cable channel, the Oprah Winfrey Network. You can see the progression so clearly from owning one show to controlling an entire universe of content.
And what's so brilliant about it is that she built this entire brand around her unique voice, her values. She wasn't just making entertainment. The source we're looking at puts it perfectly. She institutionalized inspiration. Her brand became all about empowerment, about self-improvement.
Yeah, and this quote just nails it. The Oprah model isn't just about being famous or trending. It's about building real, lasting power and wealth by owning your story, your platform, your whole vision.
Okay, so how do you take that exact blueprint and apply it in India? Well, the analysis lays out a clear path. Create a fully integrated company called, you guessed it, Kapil Sharma Studios. And the vision here is basically a content factory firing on all cylinders. So instead of a show that comes and goes, think daily, bite-sized content perfect for digital. Then you've got spin-offs, like a Kapil and Friends to bring up new comedic talent. And on top of that, you start producing scripted shows, comedies, family dramas, all with that classic Kapil Sharma touch. But here's where it gets really wild. The most radical idea? Merging comedy with hard news. Imagine a partnership with a top-tier news anchor, someone like Palki Sharma, to create India's version of The Daily Show. I mean, think about it. You could make super complex topics, from geopolitics to the economy, totally accessible, even fun, by using satire.
And this whole vision, it's not just about India. The argument here is that the potential market for this kind of empire is absolutely global.
I mean, just think about it for a second. South Korea exported K-drama, and it took over the world. So why can't India do the same with its unique brand of comedy? So much of what Kapil does is visual, it's situational humor. That kind of stuff jumps right over language barriers, making it a perfect fit for dubbing and subtitles for a worldwide audience.
And what's fueling this whole global dream is a rock-solid economic base. India's own streaming market is just exploding. By 2030, it's expected to hit 15 times billion dollars. That is a massive, massive runway to launch an empire from.
And here's the crazy part. You don't even have to win the whole market. If a Kapil Sharma Studios could just grab a tiny slice of that pie, we're talking just 2 or 3%, it would immediately become a media powerhouse valued at over 2,000 crore rupees. It's staggering.
This quote just says it all. It's about a huge shift in mindset. Right now, he's basically renting space on platforms like Sony or Netflix. He's a tenant. This move would be about going from being the tenant to owning the entire building. It's a total game changer.
Okay, but let's be real. A plan this big, this ambitious, it's not going to be a walk in the park. Building an entire empire is a whole different ballgame than just making one hit show.
I mean, you've got to keep the quality high across a ton of different shows. That's incredibly tough. You have to convince the absolute best writers and directors to come work with you. And maybe, the hardest part of all, you have to stay authentic, stay true to what made people love you, while also playing the corporate game. That takes a completely different set of skills.
Which brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful idea in this whole analysis. This is really about the future of entertainment itself.
The analysis we've been looking at ends with this really direct, powerful call to action for Kapil. It basically says, look, it's time to go from being the face of laughter to being its architect. The world doesn't just need your jokes anymore. It needs your platform. It's framed as more than a business move, it's almost a responsibility.
And so, that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As all the old media giants start to crumble, are the next great empires going to be built by individual creators instead of giant corporations? And just maybe, could the next one really be built by a comedian from India? It's a pretty incredible thought.